To my Pikachus and Raichus, what is up? The king of lightning, aka Zapdos, here today, bringing you guys and gals Nanatsu no Taizai, aka the 7 Deadly Sins, episode 12, that is 1-2 review. Now, of course, there's no link in the box below, so go to your favorite search engine and I guarantee you'll find it. Type in Nanatsu no Taizai episode 12 in Google search bar and poof, it's magically there for you. Phenomenal! Google is an amazing thing. So, thing here is this episode has a lot of stuff going for it. It's all linear, nothing too complex, but there's a lot of stuff that has to be talked about, that has to be discussed. Most of it on the high side, a few things on the low side. One thing in particular on the low side for me personally, but I'll get into great detail later on. So, first of all, animation overall. Animation was, as usual, pretty smooth, pretty good. It was fairly dynamic coming when it came to the king scene specifically. Everything else was smooth, but not as dynamic as I'd actually like it to be. Like, for example, when it came to Guild Thunder versus Meliodas in episode, I think, 4, that was very dynamic. That was, some good stuff going on, and very smooth. And even the fight against Meliodas and Ban, very dynamic, but at the same time very crisp. This was actually smooth and crisp, but we didn't get any of the high-octane dynamic stuff up until, King shows up and starts doing crazy stuff. So, that was my take on the animation. The animation overall, again, it's good. Good animation. When it comes to the pacing, fast. I did feel it was particularly fast. Much faster than the previous 11 episodes of this series. I'm not joking. This, to me, I felt was the fastest paced episode by far. Because it covers so much shit. And particularly, so let me jump right to it. Let me start with the negatives first. Particularly involving Veronica. And her meeting up with her sis. And then her trying to convince her sis that Meliodas and the 7 Deadly Sins are wrong. And Hendrickson, he was right about them. Though when Gila, whatever her name is, and Jericho, when they come in, she talks about them and Hendrickson getting court-martialed. And I'm like, you just completely flipped your position. Like, what the fuck just happened? And then you have Elizabeth running off, like, I don't trust you anymore, no. And then you have sis chase Elizabeth, and then apparently Guila had, like, these killer mines set up, and it looks like she has died. And it was all very fast-paced. And to me, it would have been a lot better if they slowed it down a little bit, played more of the emotional game there. And then at the end you have, Elizabeth screaming, Meliodas, Meliodas-san! Meliodas-san! And he breaks out a thing, looking all like just pink, or not pink, purple aura, black miasma and shit, and he just powered up. And we get an idea based on what Ban, because Ban, he senses demon-esque energy emitting from Meliodas. And plus, apparently, this gem that was used to seal him in to begin with, this goddess amber gem, it reacts to demon energy, demon aura. So it looks like Meliodas is like a demon, full on, which is kind of cool. Though he doesn't have a really portly ass face. Whatever, doesn't matter. So, again, so let me start there. So when it came to the story progression overall and characterization, the first negative in my opinion is Veronica. Because Veronica, if she's actually dead, which I doubt, because I remember an episode, I forgot what episode it was, but it was back when they were at the prison, the Basti prison, whatever it was called. And it was the doctor that tried to poison Meliodas. He was cut down, and for some reason, he was found alive and his wounds closed. And I think Hawk mentioned it was very similar to the way Meliodas came back to life at some point in time. And Meliodas, from what he was saying, from how he was saying it, specifically, it seemed as if he had an idea as to why this doctor, who should have been dead, is now alive. So I got a feeling that Meliodas is going to somehow bring Veronica back to life, assuming that she's dead right now. That's my number one assumption. So whether or not she's actually dead or not, I'm not too sure. But if Veronica is dead, very poor move. Very poor move. Because Veronica, her characterization, to say the least, is lacking. We don't know shit about Veronica. And what we do know, from the little that we know, is she's the older sister of Elizabeth, and she pretty much helped Elizabeth out in a lot of things. She was a role model for Elizabeth in a lot of ways. She, again, her position on Hendrickson and the Holy Knights, I'm not too sure what's going on there. I'm really not. But it may be the case where she wanted to just simply use them to try and get her sister back. But in actuality, she doesn't support their actions, and she may try and take over. Hence, that's why she said she was going to court-martial Hendrickson, even though she had complete faith in Hendrickson when it came to sealing Meliodas. So it was some weird shit going on there, whatever. So to say the least, to wrap it all up, her characterization is poor at best. And because we don't know much about her, the emotions that are displayed, that are supposed to be displayed in this particular scene that you should be feeling, I didn't feel at all. To me, it was like, Veronica, she's maybe dead. Okay, all right, like whatever, like not a big deal. Like I don't really give a fuck. I just don't. So it is what it is. Now, getting on to the more positive side. So again, for the last time, like the negatives on that particular incident in the episode is the fact that A, it was fast-paced, for B, a poorly characterized character who is now dead. And feeling the emotions at that scene, for me, are impossible. Going on to the rest of the episode. You have someone called Helbram, or Helbram, whatever his name is. Apparently, he's actually a very powerful dude. He's able to actually fight against King with his sacred treasure, his sacred weapon. I'm like, damn. He has some, like, space manipulation type of shit. Like, that's what it seems to be. Apparently, he was disguised as that short referee dude in the tournament. And actually, I had a feeling that since this guy has, like, some type of, like, space control ability, he may have taken Diane's sacred treasure weapon, the Helbram, or whatever it's called, the giant hammer. That's my feeling, but again, I'm not too sure. Now, he's able to apparently come out with, again, he's able to fight against King and actually be successful. He actually cut King. But we do find out that apparently King, from a standpoint of combat, lacks stamina completely. So not only is he a bitch without his sacred treasure, but also, even with it, he lacks stamina. A lot of stamina. Which is shocking to me. Because the way he's taken out Guila and Jericho, like snapping his fingers, casual, a rain of chastity folds, and then just take them all out. His chastity fold became like a sunflower here. He pulled the damn Venusaur and then solar beam cannon, and then that shit transformed into fucking lasers. I'm like, damn, like it's some impressive ass shit. But apparently not enough, because this guy, he cut Chastity Fold in half, which automatically was like, dang, what the f***? Like, is Chastity Fold done? But no, apparently Chastity Fold can, like, recover. So, we're finding out more things about King and his power through his fight against Helbram. And Helbram himself is actually, again, very, very powerful dude. That's obvious. Can he beat King? It looks like he can. But for some reason, I doubt it. I think that King has more of a sleeve because he is yet to show a lot of versions of Chastity Fold. And I'm pretty sure he can actually deliver more power. Again, for King, his main issue is stamina. Now, getting on to Jericho and Guila. Guila, she actually has attained a secret treasure herself, a secret weapon. And she's able to actually easily punk Meliodas. And Jericho is easily able to punk Bond. Apparently first of all, she has like these very fast cuts now. That's number one. And that could even like cut the air itself. And number two is they are preventing Bond's wounds from being closed. Now, maybe this is a trait specifically to fight against Bond, because it was Bond who was the catalyst for her drinking the demon's blood, trying to become more stronger. And there's some type of, because to some degree, it's become like very, almost like coming of age, but like in a weird, sadistic, feminine way at the same time. Because early on, we find out that Jericho, she's posing as the dude, apparently, which I didn't realize. I mean, because to me, Jericho was a chick, straight up. But apparently, according to the translation, according to what Bond says, she was posing as a guy. And when Bond embarrassed her, it was the catalyst for her becoming a woman via drinking demon's blood. And now Bond has to take responsibility, takes his blood, uses it as lipstick. I'm like, what the fuck? Like Jericho's become far more sadistic and just creepy. That's very obvious. And that culminates with, like, womanhood. Like I was a girl, now I'm a woman. And it's your fault, so take responsibility. It's weird. It's odd, but it's happening. Like, that to me, I found the most interesting. Jericho's characterization. Because obviously they do it in a very jokey way in this series. It's very obvious. A lot of stuff that they do is in a very comedic way. But there are some serious sadistic undertones that I'm starting to pick up on. And maybe I'm thinking too much, but I'm just, I'm noticing these things. Then you have some random dude with like these, I don't know what they were. Like, they look like maracas, but like some dude, like some dude that can control gravity. And he apparently takes out Diane. And because we can assume that since she's grown back to regular size, so has Diane. So Diane appears to be under the ground somewhere, and what she's doing now, I don't know. Maybe she's taking a dirt nap, literally. Hauser's just chilling, like, I guess, saving folk. Apparently, they knew that. Well, I don't know if he knew that this was going to happen. The whole raining down the meteorites or the fireballs to take out like half the fucking populace. But apparently, Veronica knew that it was going to go down. The one Seven Deadly Sin that we saw in the last episode, Golder, he's not coming out. I don't know what's happening there. I have no idea. So he may come out in the next episode, try and help out, try and do something. I have no idea. Then you have, again, like the main thing here, well, because I suppose there is characterization, because they did clearly rush the characterization. If in fact she's dead, Veronica, then her characterization was botched. But there was also some for, his name escapes me, the guy who do the wall thing, Griamore, I think his name is. He is the son of the Great Holy Knight. I think it's the guy clad in red that we saw before last episode. I forgot his name. And he has now been tasked with the duty of protecting Elizabeth. So that may mean that he's going to follow Meliodas and company around and protect Elizabeth using his wall-like powers, which he overhypes the fuck out of. Like, oh, like this thing, not even a meteorite can destroy this thing. I'm like, dude, chill the fuck out. Like, chill the fuck out. Like, to me, he pumps himself up, alright? Like, you think he's hot shit, but he's not. That's my take on him. And so that may mean that they have another ally in this fight against the Holy Knights. And finally, the last thing I'll talk about, to wrap this review up for the last thing of story progression. Meliodas, again, the fact that it looks like he's a demon of some kind. And that would obviously explain him being immortal, duh, because he's a demon. The demon that Bond killed in the fairy forest had, like, I don't know how many hearts, but had a lot of fucking hearts. And very powerful. I mean, still alive. Well, either still alive or it's, like, kind of alive. And its blood is being used to amplify the powers of the new class of Holy Knights. The second gen, I suppose. Then, it's the fact that he was sealed by this goddess Amber. Now, remember how, well, obviously you know, given the opening, there was this ancient war between all these tribes, like the fairy tribe, the human tribe, the goddesses, and so on and so forth, and they fought against the demons. Maybe Meliodas is like a demon. Like, he's a full-on, like, part of like, the demon clan, the demon tribe, or maybe like his half-demon, I don't know, whatever. So, that would mean that he's like a legitimate enemy against not just the Holy Knights, but also against the goddesses and like the fairies and whatnot. So, I think that's the case. I'm not too sure that's the case, but it'll explain a lot when it comes to Meliodas' powers and his sin of wrath, particularly. Because again, he's a demon, and demons and wrath and rage, they can easily associate, as well as the other 7 deadly sins. So, that's it. That's it. King Lightning. The episode overall. Mostly it's good. It's entertaining. The fights are pretty cool. It's funny. It's weird. It's sadistic. It's epic. But again, it does have its down moments as well. Overall, I think it's a good plus. And I'll leave it at that. I won't go any further. If the characterization of Veronica was better, then I'd probably give it a great, or a great plus, but it's not. Hence, good plus. So I'll leave it at that. King Lightning, rate the video, comment, subscribe. Peace. Have a nice damn day.